America! Fuck you too! Whatever nigga said. Watch out to this play.
Oh my God! Oh no! Don't.
That's a touchdown. Oh.
Fucking God! Run! Oh. Man, these motherfuckers.
The game was just over maybe 10 minutes ago. I'm seeing my man Malone. What's going on, bro?
Not good, dog.
What is it? As a guy who's been a fan for over 40 years, like what is it you see?
No pride, no guts. That's what that's what this shit is about.
Okay, don't do it. I think you can have pride in football,
Straight
right?
Up,
You might be proud.
I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna drink myself to sleep tonight. I'm telling you, man. I'm that fucking upset because this shit right here today should have never happened.
Welcome to South Florida. Yeah. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. The bottom of the clip of the gunshine state. Ha. One of them boys still boating in that way. Big plate, get it for the 18 if you straight. Get cake and stop hating, it's the motto of the state. A lot of face, but it's still real around here. That foreign talk, that can get you killed down here. Niggas better learn the lingo, cause they'll be looking for you in that water finding Nemo. See, Palm Beach County be the craziest. Them Broward County niggas be the craziest. And them Dade County niggas be the wildest. Shout out to Belle Glaze and my niggas at Fort Myers. Salute to all my Florida boys out here on the grind. When niggas out here getting dough with that snow and the sunshine. Ducking nine, waiting at the port to bring in that order. Cause niggas like depend on what come across that water. Welcome to South. I was born in the South.
Alright, man, so listen, we got here early today, got on the field, man. The energy seems different. Alright. So we get Jacoby George back today. The line starts at 8, 7.5, goes up to 8.5. We do a show about it. Now it's at 10. So Vegas is basically saying, listen, Miami has blown the University of Duke out 2 years in a row, and we don't see any different here. Miami offense hasn't been good enough to blow anybody out. So maybe Vegas believes getting Jacoby George back, a couple more weeks, getting comfortable with the offense. Maybe the offense can put a game together. If the offense can't put a game together, then Duke is in trouble, and then a lot of other teams are in trouble when the offense start playing. Because the defense, other than 6 big plays, if you look at the statistics, have been on par. What else done? This week, man, got to watch some football. Got to go see big Miami Central Bain. And Bain, University of Auburn was there on the sideline with Bain. I didn't see any University of Miami coaches there. That doesn't mean they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? But Auburn was there. You know, Bain took a visit to Auburn and came back, and then everybody crystal balled them to Auburn. But Bain played lights out versus Columbus. And then on the other end, number 1 outside linebacker nation, TJ Capers. He ran around, he did his thing, man. The first half of that game was bad for Columbus, 35-7. And then Columbus, and number 4 wide receiver Jose, and number 12 got busy in the second half and stole the momentum early and cut a 28-point deficit down to 7, but that was the closest they got, man, because Keywan Jenkins and those guys were just too much. Just too much on the outside for Columbus. Lamar Seymour, the younger brother of Lawrence Seymour, Miami offensive lineman, 150 yards in the first half receiving. It was just a track meet when it came to on the outside with Columbus, because they forced Columbus to respect the run. With the 2 backs in the backfield, they forced them to respect the run, and then they had to basically be out on islands and they could not get to the quarterback, and it was too much for the DBs to hold those wide receivers for that long. A bunch of big plays last night, a lot of big plays. I almost whenever Miami Central felt like it, but great game, bro. Great game to be a part of. So listen, man, here go Restrepo. Here's Restrepo, who was out here early when they didn't have on equipment, throwing passes to the wide receivers. He was the one playing quarterback, throwing passes to the wide receivers. Wasn't any quarterbacks out here with the receivers. Restrepo's still a couple of weeks out, man. But once we get Restrepo back, that will add to a George and a Kobe Young and a Keyshawn Smith and a wide receiver core that has been hit with injuries but is slowly getting healthy again. See if Miami can get the offense on track. Jersey's on. Feeling good in the stadium. Nice day out. Got to talk to Romello Brinson. They should say taking it one day at a time, man. It seems like Romello is going to just be patient, man, and wait it out. He's taking it one day at a time. And I just told him, man, listen, bro, everything don't come right away. Keep working, man, going hard at it. Eventually things will come to you. If you don't know what the member group me is, if you're not in the member group me, you're not a FOOTBALLVILLE. Whenever this video released for you, I'm not sure when it was released for you, but Chase Smith is probably gone for the season. That's one that we talked about for the last week that I haven't heard anybody really talking about, but that's what we do in the group. Oh, so this week, man, we put together a show where we did is James Williams really overrated? And the concept was, hey, listen, we're going to go find the top recruits that came out with James. James was the number one safety coming out in I think 2020, I think that was. So we went to go find the top 25 safeties under him that came out. Number 2, number 3, number 4. Let's see what they were doing. I didn't know what we were going to find. We did it live. You go check that video out. And what we found was that a lot of the top safeties taking in that class, half of them aren't playing as much. 30% of them has already transferred to another school. Most of them haven't got significant playing time. There was one, the kid Ukuba out of Clemson. He has been playing for 2 years. He was the only one out of the top 25 that were remotely close to the production that James has had. We had to go to veteran safeties and NFL prospects to get somebody that's having the same production. We went to Battle at Alabama. He has 37 tackles. James has 27. Battle has 32 tackles. James has 27. James has, I think, 2 interceptions. So not only is James productive, compared to his peers, he's far ahead of most of them. He has more tackles. He actually has more tackles than Cam Kitchens. Cam Kitchens has more interceptions. Now, some says one shows up on the TV screen and the other one don't. But I think the expectations is a lot higher for the other one. That's how I look at that. I think the expectations is a lot higher for the 5-star, which you guys claim you don't. We don't believe in stars, but all the overrated stuff comes from the star ratings. Period. You're saying he was rated this high, he should be doing this. When in actuality, he's putting on for a city, and your expectations is just your expectations. The dipping of the shoulder when he tackles and stuff, I think a lot of that comes in with the complications of how now you have to tackle, and him being 6'5", 6'6", not wanting to leave with his helmet, trying to figure this thing out. Not making any excuses for James or any boneheaded mistakes James have made, but these numbers don't lie. And if these numbers keep up, James going to the league. I don't know. 2nd, 3rd rounder at safety, I don't know. Go check that video out. Is James overrated? All right, man, we chilling in the suite up here at Hard Rock Stadium, man. We about to get back on this field. Go handle some business. IOD Squad, man. IOD Squad, man. This is not talk to my guy Gerald Brown, who I talked to you about a lot. My IOD Squad, who's been killing it in trading. This is this week. I will tell you how much you pay for it, but nah. Investor die, man. IOD Squad. where your money can grow, where you figure out a place that you can put your money can work for you faster than you ever could work for you, man. Investor.com, man, we out here. All right, man, we got the Blue Devils in the house with the white shirts and the blue bottoms. One thing about Duke is, I'll tell you this, Duke is one of the few teams that I feel that we are bigger than Duke. Because a lot of times we're the smaller team in these contests, and I don't know why. But I think we're bigger than Duke. I tell you this, man, there's 6 games left in the season, and we actually in our FOOTBALLVILLE in Groovy. What would the 6-game record be? What's not acceptable? Man, let us know in the comment section below. What would this 6-game record be? Miami has 6 games left. They've already lost 3, won 3. What do you think this 6-game record would be? 5-1, 4-2. And what's not acceptable? What's not acceptable? As Miami try to pull it together as a whole, and come together as a team and have the staff come together and start working in a cohesive squad. So man, we out here, man. FOOTBALLVILLE, Caneville, man. We out here. You got that? Boss man. Look at this man. This man wild, man. The first time I've seen is both teams locked hand in hand before the game. One thing I realized is like our staff is a lot bigger than Duke's staff. Or maybe our team is a lot larger than Duke's team. But I'm not sure what's going on. See that. So I basically it's a sportsmanship thing through the ACC. The ACC, maybe the ACC has started where the teams line up in front of each other and before the game. I don't know if something happened. Usually these things are reactive and not proactive. So yeah, that was the first time I've seen it. So listen, man, we gotta get out here and get this thing popping, man. I don't see as many recruits out here as we usually see. But we'll see if Miami can put the game together today, man, get 2 wins in a row. FOOTBALLVILLE, Caneville, man, we out here. You got that? All right, man. I'm sitting here. I'm gonna let y'all hear from the fans, man. I'm sitting here with a guy that I know is passionate about the Hurricanes, like no other, and don't take these losses well. But I'm gonna let y'all hear me talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all think I have enough passion because I have some foresight on this thing. But I'm gonna let y'all hear from the fans, like right after the loss. The game was just over maybe 10 minutes ago. I'm seeing my man Malone. What's going on, bro?
Not good, dog.
What is it? As a guy who's been a fan for over 40 years, like what is it you see?
No pride, no guts. That's what it turned. That's what this shit is about. I'm sorry. That's what it's about.
You can say what you want to say. We
no pride. You can't. You look at this kind of stuff and you see what's going on. You see the goal line stands. You see the defense. No pride. There should be nobody on offense or defense hugging nobody, laughing, anything. They just lost to Duke. In the past, Duke was a win, automatic.
Right.
But we have a situation right now where the mentality on the team is such that you have no pride. They don't understand the magnitude of wearing that jersey.
Do you think,
wearing that U.
Do you think it's a Mario issue, or you think because the players Mario adopted came from Manny?
From Manny, right? Mario has to get guys who actually believe, who has that pride, that heart. Right. Some of the stuff that went on Duke, some of these plays should have never happened. How
many turnovers did they have?
8.
I don't know if I ever saw 8 turnovers.
8 turnovers in one game.
They finna be laughing like an ESPN.
8 turnovers.
Mr. 30 pissed down the leg. He finna go crazy on it.
Last year, I think we were almost last in tackling.
Right.
Last in tackling. So the coaches, he brought this all-star coaching staff here, right? Steele, Gaddis, and so on and so forth, right?
Right.
So they trying to teach them, translate their experience to them. And for some reason, it's not translated because there are plenty missed tackles on the field.
Right.
And you just get and then you look at the offensive line. No one is pointing out the who's going to be coming in. Nobody's not saying anything. Nobody's not doing anything. And then you bring in Garcia, 2 interceptions. 2 or 3 interceptions.
2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it's 3, right? He should know better, right? Heralded as a top quarterback coming out of high school.
Right.
What is he doing? Nothing. He's not contributing anything.
Who are you talking about?
Garcia. Tyler Van Dyke. He's the guy. He's the quarterback and everything. He got to call out these blitzes. He got to point to people. He got to see what's going on the defensive line. He's not doing that.
Duke looked like they came here to get blowed out. First quarter, they looked the way we looked in the past game.
Right.
Warm up. They wasn't alive. Tyler was throwing the ball all around the field.
Two takeaways, right? Was it Stevenson? Coughed up the ball, right? You had the running back, Parrish, cough up the ball. And you think to yourself, man, you can't put yourself in a position that same thing.
It wasn't Parrish, I think it was 4, right?
Whoever was the running back, they threw it, he coughed up the ball. I think it was Parrish, I believe. But anyway, he went off to the flat, caught the ball and everything, like the ball, whatever. You can't have these mistakes right here where you on your side of the field and you coughing up the ball on 10 and 20-yard line. Of course, it's going to be pressure for them, pressure to your defense to stop them, and it was not.
So when the games lose, do you just walk out of here and go by the rest of your day?
No.
Does it bother you?
It bothers the hell out of me because they have enough talent, man. They have enough talent. And it bothers the hell out of me when you continue to have these kind of mistakes over and over and over again.
Right.
And was it with Memphis? Who we lost?
Middle Tennessee.
Same thing. Getting beat, missed tackles, missed assignment. It's like over and over again. You watch you there. You in a room. You're watching tape.
Right.
Over and over and over again. And it continues to happen over again. And the tackle, missed tackles, all that kind of. You knew that the Duke quarterback was going to run.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Right.
Have a spy right there. Why does he have almost 100 yards though? Why? That don't make no sense.
And you went to Texas A&M, right? What else? You went to how many games so far?
All of them.
You been to all of them?
And it's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Right.
At some point, you got to say, you know what? I have to start looking at the talents on my team, the freshmen on my team, and start building for that.
Yeah.
Because obviously, these people that you playing, they're not getting it done, man. There's no reason why we should get beat 45-21 by Duke.
By Duke. Team Vegas said we were a 10-point favorite. Vegas said we was a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
and all week long I was questioning the points. I didn't understand why it was so high.
Everybody got to look. Gaddis got to look at the way he calls his offense, his plays. He has to look at that, right? I mean, some of the running backs, I think they total, all three of them, I think 2 or 3 of them, total 100 yards. You know, I think the most person at Parrish were like 6 or 7 yards. What is that? You can't win no game with nobody 6 or 7 yards.
Right.
You have to have a running back, you have a stud back there that's going to call attention to that defensive line so they can come up. Now you have the offensive, you have the wide receivers to be able to get open easier, that kind of thing. But what they was doing, it was coming up and everything like that. Okay, run the ball. You can't run the ball.
I think and I mean I know how you feel, bro. I know how you feel. The last 5 minutes of that game, I couldn't even watch. I think it's a perfect storm. I think with the injuries, with the news, I look at it like this. Remember when LeBron and them first got here? And how that started.
First couple of
like
games,
the first, right? And it was
good.
looking like, oh man, you can't pay for a championship. We thought this was going. But the excitement was there before the season started.
Later on, they rebounded. But I don't know if this team has no. This team.
I think football's different.
Yeah, and you have 12 games. This team right now in the situation, they have to continue to hopefully win a couple of more games and then play for a bowl game. Cristobal has to continue to recruit and convince guys that they're on the right track.
Right.
But when you're losing the way you're losing, it's difficult to tell a guy, hey, come to Miami.
I saw Mal Gore before the game, and he looked proud, and like him and the staff have a real good connection. Him and some other recruits, they were watching the one-on-ones. Whatever Mario is selling them, because you're not always selling winning. Sometimes you're selling playing time.
Right.
Yeah, so whatever Mario is selling them, he's buying.
And if Mario said, look, okay, you see what we're dealing with. I need some guys that'll come in and gonna play.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the bottom line, you're trying to get to the next level. You're
Right.
not trying to win championships.
So you notice a lot of these guys are Matt Diaz guys, okay, which is fine. But the thing is that are they stepping up to the level? And they're not.
Right.
They're not. And you see it on the field. You see missed tackles. Again, last year, last in tackle, almost last in tackle. I think we were like one above the last team. You can't do that. You can't do it. But I go back to pride. You got some teams that don't have lesser talent, but have more pride. They're not gonna allow nobody to come into their home place and beat them like this.
I think pride kicks in boxing, right?
No,
I think
bruh.
you can have pride in football, right? You need a hug. Okay.
Don't.
I think you can have pride in football,
Straight
right?
up,
You
straight
might
up,
be
man,
proud.
I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna drink myself to sleep tonight. I'm telling you, man. I'm that fucking upset because this shit right here today should have never happened.
No, it shouldn't.
And those guys that's in that locker room, man. I'm telling you, man. They lack heart and pride. That crap that went on the 2 yard line. That's about pride and heart. That's why they didn't score. Their offensive line just say, look, he's gonna get in regardless. I mean, I'm just telling you, man. I don't. And Cristobal, I know he got to be like hitting his handcuff because he know what it looked like. He knows what it looked like, and what he's seeing on the field, it's not looking like that. And he got to be almost an alcoholic. He almost got to be alcoholic because he knows what it looked like, but it's not translating to what it's looking on the field. Right. And all these people, the boosters, everybody has been throwing money at this program, and look where they are now. Lost 4 games. And the fan base, you know.
What about the fan base?
The fan base is looking at this and shaking their head. And you know, rivals, what they doing right now? They talking about it. Right?
What they doing?
They talking about Gaddis.
Why you say rivals?
Yeah, rivals. I'm sorry, but whoever, all those social
everywhere.
media, all them social media, they talking about Gaddis. They talking about Cristobal. They talking about steals, defense. They can't stop anyone apparently. A guy that I don't even know if he had even 80 yards of passing. All he do is run.
He had more than barely. 130 or something.
Yeah, barely.
Right.
So you know what he's gonna do. You know what he's gonna do when he come in here. You know he's gonna run. You know he's gonna run.
All right, man. Y'all just heard from Malone, man. Malone is a passionate fan, and I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of fans out here that feel that way. But I just said like this. Imagine if you worked at a warehouse. Growing up, my grandmother worked at ABC Warehouse. She retired from an ABC Warehouse. Imagine if you worked at a warehouse for 15 years. You and everybody, you can see the same faces for 15 years. Some people come, some people go. Y'all do things one way. And the warehouse is productive. Then all of a sudden, business gets sold, and the warehouse brings in new management. New management and new money that wants to build other things around the warehouse, and now they're changing things. You as somebody that's been there for 15 years, right off the bat, because I've been part of something like this, you're going to feel like what they're doing is wrong. Because you've been doing it for 15 years. They may have more experience. They may be from bigger places. But there'll be some pushback. And internally, there will be turmoil that the higher-ups and fires the higher-ups will have to pull out. But nobody from the outside will be able to see that. Nobody. All they see is business as usual. That's what's going on at Miami right now. You can throw out the stats. You can talk about, hey, this is the worst it's ever been. But that's what's going on at Miami right now. And they wouldn't have threw $8 million at that man and they think he couldn't fix it. How much?
80.
$80 million.
$80 million.
At that man, they think he couldn't fix it. And no matter what anybody thinks, he's going to get time to fix it. I know it hurt now.
Or it hurt.
Yeah, I know it hurt now. But listen, we've seen lows before.
Big time.
And we've seen highs.
But but what's going on right now should not happen. Some of the stuff right there, too many of those guys been on that team for too many years, and they're making the same mistakes over and over again.
You've seen bad years before. Like remember when Butch was here?
Yeah.
And Butch was coming off of, I think we had sanctions or something.
Probation, right? Yeah.
But we had talented players on our team. Right, but if some days it didn't
look.
I remember
and
Omar
a talented
on that team
that he recruited went into 2000 and showed up, beat Florida State, which was like number 2 or number 3 in the nation. Miami should have played for the national championship in 2000.
Right.
They played for it in 2001. What I'm saying to you
but
right
now. But his first 2 or 3 years were rough.
Were rough. But he on probation. He had to do what he had to do. But my thing is, what's going on right now, they have enough players, they have enough talented players to play better than what they're playing right now. And they're not doing it. And there's a reason for them not doing it. And Cristobal gonna need to figure that shit out. He need to look at those coaches and evaluate what's going on with them. And if they gotta go, then they gotta go.
Butch came in after who?
Erickson.
Erickson won a national championship?
Yeah.
How many?
One.
How long Erickson was here? You remember?
2 years.
2 years, one of them was a national championship, right? So if we had to take a guess, right, without looking at the roster.
Right.
There was some dudes on that roster.
Exactly.
That Butch took over.
Exactly.
And Butch had a rough time for how long?
But Bush was on
How long did Butch have a rough time?
Yeah, but Bush, the shit was different.
Yeah, 2 years.
But listen to what I just explained. Erickson was here for 2 years, right?
Right.
One was a national championship team.
Right.
The first one or the second one?
Well,
Second one, right?
Okay, so Butch took over a team that won a national championship, right? Right?
Right.
So there had to be some dudes on that team.
It was.
Butch had a rough 2 years, 3 years, didn't he?
Yeah, it's fine.
To the point where they were saying, no, I'm not saying you saying I'm wrong.
I'm saying you're right. I understand that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is that Cristobal has enough guys on that team. But some of the shit that's going on in that team should not happen. The tackling the lack of tackling should not happen. The lack of execution should not happen.
Right.
The lack of
fundamentals.
The fundamentals
right.
should not happen. Every day, Cristobal get in front of the camera and he talks about what? Fundamentals. This is what we teach them, ton of fundamentals, and it's not happening.
Did it look like this when Butch took over?
I don't know what it looked like.
Remember we stomped on Louisville? Remember we was in Middlefield thumping on
all
Louisville?
All I'm saying is, if you come in a game and you know the quarterback gonna run, and you know that they're running game and everything, you shouldn't be tackling up high. Yeah. You should be tackling down what? Down low, making sure that they don't run. And that shit didn't happen today. These guys were like running.
All I'm saying is this: we didn't know who Butch was.
Okay.
They was calling for his head, right?
All right.
All I'm saying is this: we've seen things go south,
right.
But you never remember that. All you remember is
the greatness,
the good times. You know what I'm saying? We seen things go south. Well, Miami did not look like Miami last legged years.
Right.
Like we didn't. We had Kyle Wright, #1 quarterback in the nation. He looked like
shit. Basically,
we've seen it before.
But that was,
and what came out of that was a diamond, right? UCLA game, Ezra James run for 300 yards, and that was the beginning of what Butch built. All I'm saying is that Mario comes in here with more accolades than Butch.
Right, of course.
Man, you can't speed up the process.
I'm patient. I'm just saying that does not.
Nah, you deserve.
I'm saying that does not excuse what has been happening.
Invested $20 grand. No, it don't take away.
It has not had to excuse what has been happening for the last 5 or 6 games.
Right.
That Texas A&M game, 6 drops. What's it? Middle Tennessee State game. That really North Carolina game. This game. I mean, it really is no excuse for the reason why they have been playing the way they've been playing. And he has come to the podium several occasions. They have asked him a question.
He's at the podium right now.
Ask him a question more and more about this kind of stuff. And they say fundamental, this, that, and the other thing. They're on the 2-yard line, can't score. There's a reason why they can't score. That offensive line don't have no goddamn pride. That's the problem.
Get beat up a little bit.
Now I don't get don't do that.
You okay to do that?
Don't do that. 2-yard line, they're supposed to score.
They supposed to go?
They're supposed to score. I don't give a fuck who it is.
I agree.
They're supposed to score.
I agree.
2-yard line, and I'm saying they continue to do the same shit over and over and over and over again. Tyler Van Dyke should not be doing what he's doing. He should be making he was doing okay, but he should be looking at the situation. He should know when the blitz is coming. He had to call it. And if you don't know what's going on, what did he do? Call a timeout. That's all. He has all those things available to him, and he didn't use them.
Right.
And now, then you bring Garcia in there. What did he do? He throw 3 interceptions.
He
come on.
2 touchdowns too.
Yeah, he had 3 interceptions that hurt us real bad.
So let's see if he gets some little timing with the wide receiver. Let's see if he can make it a little better.
Something. He better get on top of that shit, man. I'm trying to tell you. I'm just saying, all that they were talking about, he all this and everything like that. Everybody wanted him to look like he wanted him to start. But what you do? You throw 3 interceptions, man. That don't put in confidence in what we're seeing.
Yeah, he didn't look at sync at all.
He has to step up.
He didn't look at sync at all.
At all.
Those interceptions were like, I thought the wide receiver was doing the out, and he wasn't.
I'm over 50 years old, man. I could have caught some interception because he threw it right to the person.
Right. That was miscommunication. Like it was almost as if they wasn't on the same page.
But he still threw it though. He shouldn't have thrown that. You know. I just don't understand the decision making. But I trust Cristobal. He's gonna get it right because he knows how it looks.
Right.
Manny Diaz didn't know how it looked.
Right.
Cristobal knows how it should look.
Yeah.
That's why he was so successful at Oregon and FIU. He know how it looked.
Yeah, he know how it looked.
And he's going to make it happen. But the thing is, right now, he need to get in the faces of his staff and also his players. You know, leave. Was it Kobe George? Kobe Young. Leave him alone. Let that nigga. I'm sorry. Let him ball out. Don't talk to him. Talk to the rest of them. Let him do him. He is balling out. That boy had almost 130 yards passing yards
doing his thing.
for seven receptions,
He don't
dog.
care who the quarterback is.
He didn't call it. Yes, he's doing it. Okay, don't worry about him. He's gonna be all right. The running backs and the offensive line. The offensive line got to be. You got to have more pride, man. You got to give your off. You got a stud for running back Parrish, and you have Knight.
Yeah.
They should not. The total yards, all three of them, 100 yards.
So
All three.
So I want to get some of that. So to wrap it up, do it eventually get better? You think it gets better in the future?
We shall, but I'm not gonna predict nothing. I'm gonna go drink and fall asleep, and that's it.
And on that note, man, Caneville, man, we out of here. Man, they really go drink and fall asleep.
That's the fuck.
It's gonna take 3 motherfucking days, and that's what?